Alright, is this thing recording? I hope it is. Well, sup people? How's it going? Rockthevox here. Today we're going to be talking about one of my personal favorite subjects to speak of, zombie apocalypse. Yes, right, that's right viewers, we're here to talk about that. Now, also I like my new gloves, but that's irrelevant. So, I'm just going to be going over basic survival tips. Stuff that those of you who don't know should know if you're kind of like a prepper nut. Stuff that would definitely be beneficial to know, for the rest of us. As probably most of us know already, the basics as it were. First, I'm going to be going over my particular choices, and these are just my choices because of my preferences, but those come later on in the video. Basically, what I would say when you're planning your kit, whether you're planning to bug in or bug out, and I'll explain those in a little bit, is prep for your location where you're going to be. Now, if you're going to bug in, it's the opposite of bugging out. Now, bugging out is where you have a kit, a bag, a travel pack, and you run. You go. You don't stay where you are, you move. Now, a lot of people are going to be doing this. Now, be careful out there, viewers. Travel with good friends who know how to use the weapons they have, and I'll get to those in a moment. If you're going to bug in, make sure you know your land very well, have a way to defend it properly, have a way to feed yourself, and definitely have a way to keep manufacturing weapons if you need, say, more ammunition. There's helpful little tips. I remember an old Civil War recipe for gunpowder was bat guano, iron rust, and coal or charcoal from like fire pits. Those three sources will give you, the iron oxide will give you the sulfur, and the guano will give you the saltpeter. There's a way to cure the guano with lye to make the crystals needed to make the compound, and this will give you basic gunpowder. Figuring out the proportions is up to you and figuring out how to do it, but that's as much as I know offhand. I'll probably research it later on. Anyways, if you're gonna bug in, make sure you have plenty of food stocked prior, plenty of ammo stocked prior, ways to possibly manufacture ammo. Do have some kind of edged weapon. I would recommend it. That's just me. Now, you're gonna want to plan for your region, because no one really talks about regions. Everyone talks about firearms and weapons, but no one really discusses regional differences. You're going to want to plan for where you're at. If you're in the Southwest, you're going to want to have desert Southwest. You're going to want to have to plan for having a lack of water, which is a basic survival need to begin with anyways. So I would recommend figuring out a water filtration system so you could reuse and reuse and reuse if necessary. You understand so far? Good. Now, in an area like Florida, particularly during the summers, we get heavy rains. That's just a circumstance of the tropic area that we live in. But in winter, it's the dry season. But at the same time, where I'm at in Florida, or in this general area, there are a lot of lakes. So fresh water's not that big of a problem. It's treating it. More people have died from contaminated still fresh water than anything else. So make sure you have, I would recommend having both a particle filtration and a bacterial cleansing unit of some kind, like chemical drops, like iodine drops. If you don't have anything else, definitely a particle filter would definitely help. If you cannot boil water at the very least, it'll make it look clean, but just because it looks clean does not mean nothing. So I do recommend iodine drops, if nothing else, and a life straw. Look into it. I'm definitely going to be trying to afford one myself at some point soon. Now, if you're in Florida, I'm going to be going over Florida particularly. If you're in Florida like I am, I recommend a waterproof backpack, like a white water backpack. In fact, let me show you mine. This is a outdoor product trademark register logo. It is a white water backpack. It is relatively waterproof. Will keep out a lot of water. It's made out of a high quality vinyl, I believe. It will keep the contents very dry, so if you got matches, bonus. I recommend lighters and matches, just because sometimes this way you have a backup. Plus, if you're gonna be smoking, you want to have that last smoke, and it's gonna be a nice Cuban cigar or something. Use a wood match. Don't waste lighter fuel on a nice stogie. Just a recommendation. That's what people tell me. Preserves the flavor or whatever shit. Now, also, at least one of these, or at least a gallon of water. Believe me, you're gonna need it. Because this particular part of Florida gets hot. Like, really hot because of the humidity. So, you're gonna be sweating a lot. And these are basic survival tips. Now, in Florida, if you're gonna be picking a firearm, common ammunition is a 12 gauge. Everyone knows it. And if you're going to be going with a shotgun, good for you. I wouldn't really want a shotgun myself unless it was a particular type of mid-range. Now, most people are going to assume a shotgun's short range, but you can kind of do a little more mid-range on it more than anything. With firearms, you're going to want short range, mid-range, and long range. Now, with me, my 3 firearms would be a .38 revolver. I'll get to that in a minute. If you have seen the movie Terminator 2, I should say, the lever-action shotgun that he flip cocks on the motorcycle, that would be ideally my choice. That's just me. And a Marlin 336, and I say Marlin 336 for a reason, and I'll get to each. Now, the 38 Special, common ammunition, it's a revolver, easy to maintain, and it's a fairly large round. So you're going to be able to do a lot of damage. And I'm sure there's a fairly large range of ammunition types within that caliber. I won't swear to it, but I would assume so. Now, it's also relatively compact, so you can have it on a hip holster. The 12 gauge lever action that I was speaking of earlier, it's kind of the aesthetical thing more than anything, but it also, unlike a bunch of idiots who just shove cock their shotguns and unload instantly, a lever action, you have to physically force yourself to. It's all about conserving ammunition. That's one of the biggest things you're going to need in a zombie apocalypse. Conserve your ammo. Now, what else? Right. The Marlin 336. If you don't know what it is, I'll explain. Back in the day, Winchester made the 30-30 rifle. The Marlin 336 is basically the same thing. The only difference is a Winchester is top eject, so you're looking down the sight, right? Round is ejected out and up. With the Marlin 336, it's side ejected, so you don't have a piece of hot metal flying right towards you. You have it flying away, relatively speaking. This also allows you to mount a scope much more easily. So that's a good reason. Now, supposedly someone told me that a Marlin 336 is heavier than a Winchester 30-30. I really don't know because I haven't gotten the ability yet to differentiate between the two. It's a 30-30 gun, so it's going to be heavy regardless. However, There again, lever action forces you can conserve your rounds. Now, if it were me, I would have a really good scope on it, and I say that without knowing like all the information, and a lot of this information I don't know. I'll be straight up honest with you, and that's just me. You like listening to me talk? Great. I would have at least a flash hider and some kind of suppressor, hopefully, maybe, I don't know, and a what I don't know what they're called. You see them a lot on Mosin Nagets, the Mosin rifle. You'll see ammo clip belt things on the buttstock where you shove your ammo in like extra rounds. You see them on police issue shotguns too. Who I don't know what they're called. Ammo holsters. I can't talk today. It's like 4:13 in the morning. I've been up since like 4 p.m. So yeah, I've been up a while. Anyways, and all these are relatively small rounds with the exception of the 12 gauge, which is probably the largest of them, but that's just me. The reason I do that is because it conserves ammo. I am all about conservation ammo. One shot, one kill. You do not want to be wasting any more ammo than necessary to take down a zombie or a raider. You're going to want to be more of a sharpshooter, believe me. Now, the Marlin 336 also is a very good hunting rifle. A lot of hunters swear by it. Very relatively accurate. I don't know too many about the statistics, so do not hate, please. What else? Melee weapons. This here and this here is what I'm going to be using. This is a machete with a shovel anchor on it that I bolted on. It looks weird, but it looks kind of cool at the same time. It's very piratey-esque almost. It's very sword-like. I can actually hold it with two hands. And it's very heavy though, so probably not. This is my personal katana that I made. It's fairly nice. I like it. I'm comfortable with it. Just because you have a nice katana does not make you Tom Cruise from The Last Samurai. So, if you're going to be using a katana blade of some kind, even though mine is broken, I can still use it as a katana-esque machete, which I am very good at doing. Practice. Alright? That will save your life, whether it be a firearm or a melee weapon. Practice. Practice makes perfect, as they say. Right? Get good at doing bullseye shots. Pinpoint accuracy is going to save you. One shot, one kill. Also, and in my personal kit, ideally, would be a couple cans of ravioli, or spaghetti, some kind of pasta, carbs, and carbohydrates and all that. Tastes good on its own. Doesn't necessarily needs to be nuked. Nuked is fairly easy to tell. By the way, if it's bloated, do not open it. It is bad. A sealed can will actually stay good for a very long time. Actually, longer than the MSRP or manufacturer predicted shelf life. As long as the can is not bloated. Stay away from it if it is not bloated. If it smells funny, if it does not look right, do not eat it. I hate wasting food, but do not risk Ebola or some other food poisoning because you're hungry. Believe me, it is not worth it. I'll probably do another video at some point about food, but until then, see you next time, zombie nuts, and just keep on fighting the good fight. Subscribe.